Welcome to Fundamental Supersize Business Strategy number 41. Sharon Horne-Ellstrom here. And today's topic, today's strategy is, you can call it what you want, either your code of conduct strategy or your motto strategy. They can be interconnected or they can be distinct and separate. I've done them different ways in different organizations. I've done them different ways within different businesses of my own as well as other people's. But the reason I'm thinking about this today and why I think it's so important, I'm going to share in a couple minutes why I think it's so important, is because following my sudden cardiac arrest, I had to make massive changes in my personal life. And one of the things I came across was my primary question, which I think we've talked about before, as well as, thank you, Tony Robbins, for that one, realizing what my primary question was and what I wanted it to be. Two absolutely opposite things. And the same topic came up a few years later when I was thinking about my personal code of conduct and my personal motto, because over the decades leading up to that massive life event, which sometimes we have those, sometimes we don't, I hope people can make changes and create the life they want without having to have those eye-opening wake-up calls. But some of us are stubborn and we need something that absolutely positively does a huge pattern interrupt in our life in order to consciously make changes and to grow. And one of mine was to come up with, well, what do I stand for? What do I stand against? What is important to me? What's not important to me? And I had to decide that as an individual so that I would make choices and decisions that were in alignment with who I wanted to be and who I wanted to show up with, as, not with, well, with and as in the world, people that I wanted to work with, people I didn't, and how I would make those decisions comes from and stems from my personal code of conduct, my personal beliefs, my personal values, my core values, and that all gets incorporated into my code of conduct, which is a bunch of statements of how I will behave, how I expect myself to behave, what I aspire to, and what I will and will not accept from other people, other situations, other things, because I wasn't necessarily awesome at setting boundaries for myself and for other people back in the days prior to my sudden cardiac arrest. Of course, we always think we're doing the right thing at the time, and it's only after we examine it and look back and say, oh my God, why did I think that not taking care of myself at all, physically or mentally or emotionally, was a good idea? How did I convince myself that other things and other people's priorities were more important for me than what I knew was right for me? And that internal conflict causes all kinds of challenges and problems. So I went through the process, and it literally took me a couple of years to come up with my motto, my personal motto, and my code of conduct, what was and wasn't okay. Because it's one of those things, once you start thinking about it and exploring and reading books on the topic and understanding how to go about doing it, and then actually doing it and applying it to your life, it takes a while to morph and change and grow. And it's a living, breathing document. The foundation of it is set, but every once in a while something happens to wake me up, shake me to my core, and realize that, oh my gosh, I totally forgot to include that in my code of conduct. So now I want to add that. Now, I'm going to challenge you today, if you don't have one for yourself, to do that, which might take a while, but also to do one for your business. I find, and we do it for our businesses, the businesses that I own and participate in, as well as the businesses that we work with, when they're ready for it, right? Everybody's ready for this at different times in their business development, but it makes actually life and running your business so much easier because you know who you are and you can filter out all the things that aren't for you or your business. It makes decision making faster. It aligns the people in your organization, especially when you create this together as an organization. When you all agree, this is how we will and will not behave toward one another and toward ourselves. This is how we will and will not behave toward all the stakeholders that we interact with in our business. This is how this is what we believe in. This is what we stand for. This is what we stand against. This is how and who we're going to work with and interact with, and how we're going to, I say, make the world a better place. That might not be part of your code of conduct, but it's definitely part of mine. So curious today, and if anybody wants a write-up on doing this or how to do it, I will provide one. Just direct message me, and I'll probably email or text. I won't text it, it's a long, probably 5 or 6 pages, the process that we use right now, because we've simplified it, because we need to make it a process so we can teach it to other people, right? And the simpler the process, the more likely we are to use it. That's why I like 4 and 5 step processes. And then there can be multiple parts to that step, but here's the main things you need to accomplish. And here's how we break that down. Curious, do you have a code of conduct? Do you have a code of conduct for your business? Do you have a personal motto or a business motto? Share your business motto in the comments below. You don't have to share your personal one. Mine is be loving, love being, be you. And whenever I'm in a quandary, I go back to that. Sometimes, certain times of what's going on in the world sucks me out of that, and I have to pull myself back. But guess what? A 6-word motto is very easy, quick to remember, and it pulls me back into who I want to be and how I want to show up in the world. And we want that for our businesses as well. Who are you? What do you stand for? What do you stand against? How do you expect people to behave? What are your boundaries? We answer questions like that as we're coming up with our personal code of conduct and our business code of conduct and our business model. We're talking about the ones for our business today. All right, that's our topic for today. That's our strategy for today. Curious if you've got one or not. I would say the vast majority of businesses that I interact with do not, which is why it's such a powerful tool to have, because your competitors probably don't. And if they do, they probably don't necessarily adhere to or live by it. It becomes part of our culture. If it's part of our culture and we have a common language and a common understanding of who we are and what we stand for and what role we play in that, everything in our business becomes easier. All right, have an awesome day. I'll, of course, be with you tomorrow.